What's up, guys? And we've brought you to Salmesbury Hall in Lancashire, home of the Southworth family and haunted by White Lady Dorothy Southworth. So as we walk around this hall, we'll let the story of Dorothy unfold, and Andy's going to run Spirit Talker in certain places, and we'll see if we can get her name through. Okay guys, just to give you a little bit of history about this amazing hall, particularly Dorothy Southworth, what happened with her. She was dating a young man from Horton Towers, about 8 miles away from here. And what happened was the parents had banned her from seeing this young man because he was Church of England and this family were Catholic. But the two of them continued to meet in secret. Her brothers found out and they galloped on horseback over to Horton Towers and had a duel with the brother, with the lover of Dorothy. So there's two endings to the story. One ending is that he died and was buried somewhere between here and Horton Towers. And the other ending of the story is that Dorothy was shipped off to a convent in France where she went on a hunger strike and died there. So we're not quite sure of the actual ending. So Andy's running the Spirit Talker to see if we can find out. Is there a name on it? No, I don't think so. She was only young. So Andy's going to run the Spirit Talker. Ask out Dorothy Southworth if you are here. We have come to visit your home. We have come to make contact with you and ask you the true ending to your tragic story. As far as we know, there was a choice of two endings. One ending was that she threw herself from an upper floor, and then the young man that she was dating from Horton Towers came to see her and was told she was dead, and then he challenged the brothers to a duel, and that's one ending of the story. The other ending is that she was shipped off to a convent in France where she went on a hunger strike and died. So we're not quite sure which is the ending of the story. But we're running Spirit Talker. And if we get anything significant, because the last time we were here, we went up to the chapel and Dorothy's name came through. So let's just see if she lets us know that she's here this time. I think with tragic stories, particularly with tragic endings, there's a lingering feel afterwards. And I don't really think those souls can rest. You know, whether it's a suicide or whether it's a traumatic death or accident, I think those souls can linger until they realise that they are actually passed over. Did you get something on there? What did it say? Avoid this area? Iron Age? Well, it goes back to 1300 this, but I don't know when the Iron Age was.
Why do we need to avoid this area?
Maybe this is where the challenge took place between the young man and the brothers, De Horton and the brothers.
Why do we need to avoid this area?
Move something in the room if you hear Dorothy, or knock on the wood. Because this would have been the main dining room, so visitors would have been welcomed into here. Try and knock on some of the iron around the hearth, or knock on the wood, then we can hear you. Just want to point out that up there's some shadow effect, minstrels playing, so that's not a ghost, guys. It just caught my eye, then I thought, shit, something just moved up there, but they've got, it's like minstrels playing. Dorothy, why do you want us to avoid this room? And if we are not speaking to Dorothy, who are we speaking to, please? Absolutely silent, isn't it? and very, very cold. We've literally got this place to ourselves right now, guys, so we're very, very lucky. So we're going to walk around and make as much use of the time that we have. But with it being daylight hours, we're not going to run the paranormal stuff. We're just going to run the spirit talker. Because I always find that the paranormal stuff works better after dark. Okay, so we've come into another room. Are you still running the spirit talker, Andy?
Yeah.
Alright, so just to show you a little bit around this room. That there is a kissing ring. And back in the 1600s, they didn't have Christmas trees. The Christmas tree didn't come in till around 1850. They used to have kissing rings, a wreath suspended from the ceiling, and the couples used to kiss underneath it, kind of like the mistletoe. That's Henry VIII up there. And this was his first queen, Catherine of Aragon, up there. So that's just to show and prove that this was a Catholic household, because Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon during the days Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church. The Church of England only came about afterwards, after he divorced Catherine of Aragon, so he could marry Anne Boleyn. This was the Catholic household. The de Horton family at Horton Towers were Church of England, and in those days the two were not allowed to mix, and definitely were not allowed to be married. He had two Catherines, Catherine of Aragon and Catherine Parr. That's Catherine of Aragon. What did you get on your spirit talker? Elsewhere?
Yeah.
I thought you got Catherine. No, Catherine Parr was his last wife. Catherine of Aragon was his first wife, who gave birth to Mary. Catherine Parr was the one that outlived him. So this room, in fact this whole hall, dates back to the times of Henry VIII. And there's a little mini engraving of Henry there too. I've just spotted it now. Can get a close up because it's our level. That's Henry VIII. So these kind of engravings would have been famous back in the day in people's houses and homes. This probably goes back to the 1500s, this cabinet. Has anything come up on Spirit Talker?
Elsewhere an edge.
Edge?
Yeah.
Right, we're calling out to any spirit people that might be here at Salmesbury Hall. Any members of the Southworth family would like to come forward and make themselves known. Andy has got the spirit talker. If you go close to him and speak, we'll be able to know what you're saying. Can you tell us what happened here? What happened when you met de Horton? Did that cause a lot of problems for your family? Did it cause a lot of heartbreak and heartache for you? Oh, they're always scary, these paintings. They've all got really cold eyes. Especially if you go down to some places where there's like a whole row of them. If you go down to Hever Castle, Anne Boleyn's house in Kent, there's a corridor with like about 20 or 30 of them portraits up like that, and you just feel like you just got an audience of cold eyes upon you. There's not much activity going on in here. Then can you knock on any of the doors? Can you knock on the table? Can we hear you knock? Or show yourself as a ghostly mist. So the inscription over the fireplace is in Latin, so that shows you how far it goes back. It says Thomas Southworth over the fireplace, look. So that's the family name, Thomas Southworth. And I think that's Latin on that side. Not quite sure, to be honest. Didn't do Latin. So although I went to a Catholic school, it's like they'd stopped teaching Latin by the time I'd gone. But before that, they used to teach Latin. Did you get anything under?
Edge, and you are unique.
Oh, you'll love that message then, won't you? You're going to dine out on that for the rest of the day. Okay, so this room is the parlour room. It's like a second entrance to the house. So we'll just spend a little time in here and see if we can get anything on the spirit talker.
There's the shadow.
Did it say shadow?
There's the shadow on the chair.
Is that what it said, shadow?
Yeah.
Let's see the shadow. And who is the shadow of? I think we're going to get something up in the chapel, because the last time we were here, it was the chapel area where we got Dorothy through.
Yeah, we've done that little bit upstairs.
So I'm guessing that she would have done a lot of praying up there on her own.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
You did last time.
Do you want to go upstairs then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go up. I'm just going to keep the camera on, because you're never on staircases and things. I always find, especially in these old English halls, you can pick up a ghost or two. You know, you can pick up a footstep, or and usually when we're filming in these places, we don't hear it when we're filming. But when we've got back home and we've loaded it on, there's always something in the background that we've picked up that we've not heard, that the camera's got it instead. So I do like to film around these old staircases and things. Is this the chapel? No, this is the room where we got Dorothy coming through last time. This was the private family chapel. What they used to do, they always had a private chapel within the house. Find my grave. Who are we talking to, please? You got that last time?
We had that last time.
So, do you think, what if she's buried here then, Dorothy? There is a ghost lady walk at the back. We're going to go out there later to show her exactly where she's been seen.
This is the road where she's been coming.
Yeah, it's ghost lady walk.
Yeah, this road.
We're going to go down outside later
Downstairs, yeah.
and have a look at ghost lady walk.
Is this where you've been seen?
Just wanted to get in and do the inside of the house first. Dorothy, are you in this chapel?
Can you say your name like you did last time?
I'm Alison and this is Andy.
Don't mean any disrespect.
We've come as friends just to find out your story. Or the ending to your story, really. Because there's two different ones. We've heard that you were taken to France to a convent where you cut your hair short and went on a hunger strike.
If you still go walking across the road, where can you tell us where you're going to?
Yeah, she's heading towards Horton Towers. When she goes down that path and crosses over, she's heading towards Horton Towers to see De Horton.
That way, going that way, it's not that far away.
It's about 8 miles in it, or maybe 5 or something like that.
But it's not as
So what they used to do, they used to meet up. They used to, God, I thought those people stood behind me then, it's a photograph. They used to meet halfway in the hills. And we're not that far from Pendle Hill actually either. So they used to meet halfway between here and Horton Towers, which we're going to do in the new year later on. And in secret. But I think Dorothy's maid helped her to go in and out of the house through a door back here, which we're going to go to later. De Horton was one of the male heirs of Horton Towers, so he could come and go as he pleased. Dangerous. Well, you know what was dangerous? Her sneaking out to meet De Horton was dangerous.
Your father, did it happen to
All of it was dangerous, really.
torment? And then he said, we're in torment.
We get a lot in here, don't we?
Can you give us your name? Can you give us your name? I know it probably sounds like a stupid question to you saying your name, but
We just want to know that we're talking to
we'd like
you.
know if you were talking to.
I've heard your story. Maybe you want to tell us your version of the story. You did say your name the last time we were here. It would be nice if we could know your name was here. It would be really appreciated. You could give us your name again. Or the name of the building we're in. You could just use your voice and we can see you, hear you.
Okay, so we're in the upper rooms of the house now. This probably would have been like a banqueting room where they would meet and have get-togethers at Christmas and parties and things like that. They didn't really have ballrooms in those days. The ballroom didn't come in until around 1700s. So this was a little before the ballroom time. So what have we got here? We've got a font. This stone font would have originally held holy water and would have been mounted near the entrance to a chapel. Little is known about how it has come to be part of the hall's collection, but it is possible that it was taken from Whalley Abbey at a similar time to the windows in the Whitaker room. So they've got some windows here from Whalley Abbey. That's interesting. They've got windows here from Whalley Abbey. They've also got a door up at Horton Towers from Whalley Abbey. So it seems at that time, and Whalley Abbey, for those people who want to know anything about it, is about 5 miles away from here. We did Whalley Abbey at Halloween, if anybody wants to see it, and we've also been to Whalley Abbey 3 times doing investigations there. So if you type in Whalley Abbey, it'll bring up the 3 programmes that we have already done there. Now, Whalley Abbey is a derelict monastery that was destroyed during the time of Henry VIII. And the local people, including these people who had big houses and big halls, went and helped themselves to stained glass windows and door frames and beams for their own homes. Now, I do know that up at Horton Towers they have a full stone arch doorway which they took up to Horton Towers, and up there is a shadow of a monk that goes past, connected to Whalley Abbey. Now here, I'm guessing those windows are down on the ground floor because there are some very old stained glass windows, so we'll check those out on the way back. What's that?
There was a priest hall in here straight away because God protects this place.
Really? God protects this place?
Yeah.
Seriously?
The priest hall.
Yeah, the priest hall. Is it behind this curtain, the priest hall? That is in there.
I think it was.
That's the minstrel's gallery. This is the priest hall. Alright, so who's in here, please? Must be the priest hall. Or there might be a hole in here which they used to climb in. The guards pulled him from his hiding place and decided to take matters into their own hands by beheading him on the spot years later. Anyone would complain of a recurring red stain that refused to be removed. Right, so this is the priest's hall then. This is where the priest would have hidden. This gallows I look on as his cross, which I gladly take to follow my dear Saviour. My faith is in my crime and the possession of my duty and the occasion of my condemnation. Okay, so let me explain a little about the priest's hall and what that exactly is then. Going back again to Tudor England when Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon and the whole country was Catholic. Then they got divorced and he married Anne Boleyn and the whole country became Church of England. Catholic practices were banned and all Catholic priests and monks were either destroyed or told, you must be defrocked and you must not practice this religion anymore, you convert to Church of England. Some priests, like this household forever remain Catholic, were part of the family and they were brought here to live in hiding and to provide Catholic masses in secret little private parts, cubby holes of the house called priest holes, and this is one of them. It's freezing in here, absolutely freezing. Did anything else come up on Spirit Box? I'm going to put my body warmer on.
Johnson.
So that might be it could even be the name of the priest for all we know.
Johnson.
Is there a priest in here?
Are you the one who's making God? Yeah.
It's icy cold in here. And go on. Yeah.
God.
It is, it's like being in a fridge, isn't it?
It is so cold.
It's icy cold, like an ice.
You know when you open your fridge door? It's like that. It's so cold.
It is, I'm telling you what, right? You people who know me at work, we work in -5 degrees temperatures, right? It feels exactly the same in this particular part of the house. It's ice though, isn't it? It feels, and look at it out there, it's beautiful. It's been sunny all day. It's been a really pleasant day.
This is my home.
Really?
Is this your home, the priest who stalls at the back there? Or is it somebody who's owned the property? Just you, Dorothy? Or is it another member of the Salmesbury family?
Can you speak into the camera, please, and we can hear you?
Can you make a sound? Can you copy this?
Knock back if you're hiding in here. If you're a Catholic priest who's been hiding in here, practicing your faith, doing some secret masses for the family.
If you knock, we can let you out.
I'm not sure if this is not the place where they've seen something in this chair. Do you know this chair in the corner? Is this the house that's supposed to have they picked something up in that chair? You go to that many houses, you forget, don't you, all the ghost stories, but I'm pretty sure that in this one...
You don't like sitting on this chair?
No, because it's old, but I think...
It doesn't say anything about it, but I don't like it because...
So you know they do the torchlight tours. I'm just going to plug Salmesbury Hall because it's an amazing place to visit. You can do the torchlight tour at night time and go around all these buildings, these rooms. That chair, the paranormal people have picked up orbs and some kind of spiritual connection to that particular chair. Although nobody knows the history of the chair, it just seems to have an attachment. Now, whether it belongs to this house and this priest's room, I don't know. Whether it's come from somewhere else, but that has had a haunting. See, with a lot of these things, sometimes they get shipped in from other places, don't they, because of the same year. They blend in with the furnishings.
It's cold in here.
It's ice.
It doesn't feel as bad. I'm not as bad.
It's like being stood out in the snow. My nose is freezing. My nose is a natural temperature probe and it's gone way below 0. Yeah, very icy cold in here, guys. That's a letter writing desk. And they keep the documents in there. And probably priests would keep Bibles in there. And then use the top of it for writing letters on. Back in the days when they used to use the feather pen, the quill and all that. They're really called escrits. It's a French word for writing. Well, écrit is the French word for writing, but the escrit was a walnut desk dating back to the Tudor times that they would use for writing purposes. So what kind of messages have you been getting in there?
I got, he scares me, I'm buried down the road.
Right.
I would figure because there's a graveyard, there's a church down that road.
Not only that though, one of the legends to this story of De Horton is that Dorothy's 2 brothers killed him and buried him under the ground here on the actual grounds of Salmesbury Hall. So if he's not been found, then he's still buried under here, and maybe that's why you're getting that message through. I am buried. What was it say?
I'm buried down the road.
So that could be. Yeah, you know why? Because that many people have come here to cause trouble for the couple. They probably don't trust anybody coming in now. Are we speaking to De Horton?
Are we speaking to
Dorothy or De Horton?
Or are we speaking to the priest? Do you mean Ham?
Do you know what? I've just had a little flash in my head. Psychic. Do you know what I think happened? You know, sometimes you get a little flash of history that's not known to anybody. Secret marriage. I think they had a secret marriage in here, and that's what caused the trouble. It just come through into my head then. Do you know, sometimes you get little bits of information popping up that you don't know, innit?
Yeah. maybe
But do you know?
that's why you get so active with people.
But this is what caused the trouble. But because that's the story. Because that's the story. The story literally just flashed into my head like a little bit
Join
of
us.
film reel. Yeah, for the wedding banquet.
Join us.
You know what happened here? I know what happened here now.
Yeah.
The priest secretly married Southworth, Dorothy Southworth and De Horton. And you know what? I think that he wanted a Catholic wedding to keep her happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is why the brothers went after him and killed him.
Yeah.
That's the story. But the family probably wouldn't want that getting out. Probably the family wouldn't want that because it's a very outrageous thing to do in those days. That's the story.
I'll affect you. You won't.
But you know when you come in these places
You do
and you're talking
sometimes-
to spirit
you
and you've got it all to
sometimes
yourself, they can give you directly the story, whichever way they can. Now you're not psychic and neither am I, but
No, no.
they can do it
Size.
like anybody. They can
Yeah,
plant the thing in your head that this is what happened.
And that's it. Sometimes you do. You get a vision.
That's the story. I'm convinced now that is the story. They got secretly married in there. And I think that Dorothy's brothers found out and went after De Horton and killed him in a duel and buried him out there somewhere because he was never found, you know. They don't know where he's buried.
Something.
Something just creaked then in the room. Did you hear that?
Something's following us 'cause I keep getting.
I heard a very heavy creak over here then.
Bye. I'm not going. I'm going downstairs.
But can you just confirm, is that the true story of what happened between the two of you? That you actually did have a secret Catholic wedding?
You can't actually speak to us. I assure you.
Maybe they're frightened to say.
1870.
That's much, much later. This is going back to 1500s, this. That's much, much later, that.
What happened in 1870?
The Southwest would have still owned it probably then, but it would have been a whole different... This would have been a ballroom.
Are you the one that's making us feel cold?
And in 1870, this would have been a ballroom, a Victorian ballroom by then. Are you dancing in here? Let us hear you dancing. Would have gone from medieval banquet room to Victorian ballroom. It shifted with the times. But the ballroom was usually upstairs. Do you remember Antwerp House? The ballroom was upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure now that's what happened. That they secretly got married and probably were on the way to elope and the brothers probably stopped him. And then she probably did get shipped off to a convent in France. Because that's the kind of thing they did to people, Catholic girls that wanted to just sort of elope to Gretna Green or whatever to get married. And Gretna Green up in Scotland's been around a few centuries. 4 centuries at least. Maybe longer. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. If anyone can put me right on that or Google the history like my friends in Salford like to Google me the history. When did Gretna Green start to become a place for weddings, people that have eloped? I know it does go back to about the 1700s because some of the classic novels have got Gretna Green in as one of those places that people would run off to. That's one for you, Kez and Andy in Salford. Google that for me. When did Gretna Green in Scotland first become a marriage place?
How long have you got?
Okay, so we just got the message through. Guess where I am. Now, are we talking about De Horton's hidden grave, which is in the grounds? What do you think? Or could it be some other ghost? So that's the White Lady Walk where Dorothy is seen. But I think the maid used to let her out of the door and that she could go out and keep that door on a latch and she could get back in. Let's see who these people are above this doorway. In case it's significant. There's no name on it. Alright, we're going to have another quick walk through the chapel before we go down and do the outside. Okay, now I'm completely on my own in your chapel. Dorothy, is there anything you would like to say? Anything at all? Now's your chance to speak. Did you secretly run away and get married? Or did you secretly get married here with just a few friends? Did you get something?
I thought a mist.
A mist? I think it's Dorothy, because this is one of the rooms where she's very strong. Not just us, but other paranormal people have said the same thing about this chapel room.
Something's following me now. My hands are
Really? Freezing?
My hands are... This is just so
Go on.
you know.
Oh yeah, they are icy cold.
I am absolutely free. I keep getting like a cold blood.
Maybe we're being followed.
And you shouldn't be frozen. It's not even cold outside.
No, it's not. But that priest's room felt like ice, didn't it? Do you know what? I'm starting to feel that icy chill here again. Who's following us around Salmesbury Hall? Give us your name on the Spirit Talker, please. Then we know who you are.
Somebody who just weighing us up at the moment.
Possibly. You can talk to us, you know. We're friends. We're spiritual investigators. Well, I'm glad you can see us. And we're able to see you if you show yourself. And we're able to hear you if you knock on some furniture.
But we need to hear your voice.
What's your name, please? Just give us your first name. If we get Dorothy, then we know who Dorothy is. If we get John, it's that priest that was beheaded and murdered. I don't know the name of De Horton. I'm not sure if it wasn't Thomas or not. I'm not quite sure his first name. Or Richard, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure of his name. Was it Richard? Richard De Horton. I think Thomas was her father, wasn't it? Thomas Southworth. We've seen it on the mantelpiece. I think Richard was the De Horton's name. But do you know when we came out of that...
No, this is not a ritual.
Is that what it says? Yeah, you know why? Because you're wearing all mystical pentacles, so they think we're doing some kind of witchcraft or something. We wouldn't do that in your Catholic house. We're not disrespectful towards other people's religious beliefs, and we're certainly not disrespectful towards the Catholic and the Church.
You smell pipe smoke.
Yeah, you know why though?
Pipe smoke.
This would have been the room where they had the medieval banquet parties, so people would have been... There would have been fires in 2 grates. That's why you're getting smoke.
Really old, no, a modern.
You know when you go in old places like Falstaff's and you smell that smoky, is it like that?
Yeah, it's only pretty.
Okay, for anybody who wants to know what Falstaff's is, it's a tavern in Stratford-on-Avon that Shakespeare used to go for a quart of ale back in the day. His best friend was the landlord, Falstaff, and he wrote Falstaff into a few of his plays, so that's why. Falstaff's. We've also done investigations at Falstaff's Tavern, if you want to Google that. Yeah, this would have been the medieval banqueting room, where they would have had like hogs' heads roasting there on the fire. You know, and this is why you would have got that smell of smoke and stuff coming through. And the old beams, they're all original. And look at this big chest down here. That sounds wrong, that, doesn't it? It's a good job I'm not focusing it on a woman, isn't it, Andy? Look at that big chest down there. I was on about this big chest here. I wasn't talking about anybody's big chest. I was talking about this wooden chest. It just sounded wrong. Look at that big chest down there. If I'd have said that on Blackpool Seafront, it would have been a whole different meaning, wouldn't it?
If I'd have said it, you'd have chin me.
Perhaps. Usually these chests have a date on them, don't they? Or initials or something. This one doesn't seem to have, but usually I think this one might be like 1800s then, because I know the ones from 1600 always had the date and the initials carved on, just in case you lost your chest at a train station. Okay, so this is the kitchen. And this is where, obviously the maids and everybody would have worked in here. And I think this is the area where they used to let Dorothy out. I think where the ghost trail begins, out that corridor there where we've just been to the toilet that way. I think there's a door which lets you out onto that path. And I've got a feeling that's the way they used to let Dorothy sneak out to meet De Horton. What have you got there? I'd be interested to see if you pick up a different surname here now, because I've just read some history in the toilets. which I didn't know about before. Later, in the 1800s.
1800s.
So I'm not going to say anything, but if that name comes through, then we've got, see, Salmesbury Hall Spirit World. The Ghost of Dorothy Southworth. Right, it's actually there, the story. Dorothy fell in love with Richard de Horton, so it is Richard. We got that name right. Of the Horton family at Horton Tower, but the union was forbidden because of religious differences between the Southworths and de Hortons. Richard and Dorothy had planned to elope, but Dorothy, his brother, discovered the plan and murdered Richard de Horton and his 2 retainers, which is like bodyguards. Dorothea was sent to a convent in France where she refused to eat or drink and died of a broken heart. Her ghost has been seen inside and outside of the hall, searching for a long-lost lover. As the lady in white, yeah. And also, the ghost of Richard de Horton is said to haunt the grounds of the hall. In 1878, groundsman Jacob Barron and his helper were digging up the road near the hall. They discovered a sealed vault in which there were the remains of 3 male skeletons. The owner of the house at the time asked them to leave them in the vault and to reseal it. It is thought that the 3 skeletons are those of Richard de Horton and his 2 retainers that were murdered by Christopher Southworth. Now, that matches with what you was getting on Spirit Talker. Didn't you get on Spirit Talker? I am buried near here, find my grave.
The child wants help.
What was this message you got before about being buried outside?
I'm buried down the road.
So that fits with that story, doesn't it? So this is one of the endings to the story, but there is 2 endings to the story. I think what it is, you get this ending here at Salmesbury. But if you go up to Horton Towers, which is only like 6, maybe 8 miles away from here, you get the other ending of the story. So the ending to the story here is that they shipped Dorothy off to a convent and she died of a hunger strike. But the story up at Horton Towers is that he came back here and she'd thrown herself from a window and then he got into a duel with the brothers. But either way, his outcome was the same. He got buried in the grounds here. But her ending, getting 2 different stories from 2 different houses.
Yeah, so I got into that. There's ghosts of spirit children here.
Really?
I did get the child wants help from upstairs. When I was upstairs, I got the children who are around you.
Oh, really?
But
Did it say one child or several?
It was run as a private boarding school.
Really, was it? What era, what year?
1852, he rented the house and Mary and Harrison.
Are there any names on that story?
Mary and Harrison.
Right. So, you know what?
52.
In the toilet, there's a mantelpiece with the name Harrison on it, 1870. So that's that, innit? Go on, what?
I don't particularly like that one.
What does it say?
You'd make a great ghost.
You'd make a great ghost. I think there's a threat in there somewhere. Mind you, they're not wrong. You would make a great ghost. And you have done on several shoots now when you're not falling down potholes and things like that. Like at Wally Abbey, when it took you like 5 hours to get to the window and you finally decided, you told me that you fell down a pothole or something on the way. I mean, you only had a pumpkin head on and a cloak. I don't know how you could struggle with that. No, that's people. I saw people were going upstairs. That's not paranormal.
Damn good.
No, it was definitely... So that's interesting because in the ladies' toilets there's a big mantelpiece with somebody Harrison 1870.
Yeah,
so that family
would have been,
must have bought this and turned it into a boarding school in the 1800s.
I would hazard a guess. Because the guy who bought it was called Harrison, but he never let. Was it John Cooper?
The name's in the over the mantelpiece anyway.
John Cooper bought it, but he never lived here. But he
Right.
rented it out to this Mary Ann Harrison to run as a private boarding school.
That's why that fireplace has got the Harrison
Yes.
name on it.
Guess. I am a guess. We are a guess.
Alright, so we've come to the part of the house now which is where the servants would have lived. Now it's all been renovated and modernised and all that, and there's modern paintings on the wall, but what was that then?
Inside.
Inside what? Inside the servant hall?
What one were it?
There's some old pieces of iron and that on display, which must have come from this hall. Old gates and things. Yeah, and there's some old beams and things. Look, there's an old sketch of Salmesbury there, black and white. Trust the woman? Are you talking about me? You know what that is, because I'm poking my nose through windows. You can tell you're in the servants' quarters now. I think we're going to get a bit of banter down here. Because you know what servants are like. They had a lot of fun about them, didn't they? Because they were common people. These are all different paintings and sketches of Salmesbury. Look how basic it looked there. That's before all the ornamentals, painting and stuff went on it. Yeah, these are all old pieces, look. And old pictures, yeah, Salmesbury. Well, Tudor was brown, the wood originally, wasn't it? So maybe they painted it black to maybe it was the fashion of the time to paint it black. Alright, so these are the servants' quarters. So have we got any servants running up and down this corridor to the work? Negative? So you've packed it in now, have you?
Sounds like more like Star Wars.
Seriously though, think about it.
Negative.
If you could come back as a ghost, right, would you go back to the place that you worked and carried on? Or would you go to the place that you loved and just chilling out and doing the things that you loved the most? Where would you haunt? Where would you haunt?
I certainly wouldn't go back to work. That's the last place.
I would go back to the hotel that I used to work at in the 90s in Manchester City Centre for 5 years because I loved it there, and it was an old building and it had a ghost attached, and I was there all the time and it really felt like home. And to be honest with you, I think I would go back and haunt that place. It's the one place I loved. I think the places I've worked at since, being hospitals and factories, I wouldn't haunt them because they're just mechanical industrial places and it's like, it's not the same. Alright, what's in here? This is more modern stuff, isn't it? But the rooms are old. We're not bothered about the modern stuff. Ignore all that. The rooms are old. This is where the servants probably would have had their meals and stuff. If you've ever watched stuff like Downton Abbey, where the servants either lived in the basement or the servants would have a separate wing like this one, like they do at Smithers Hall, the servants are in the upper level. They had their own area where they all lived and had a room each and would eat together, plan the day, working together. That's when they were saving Salmesbury Hall. They were actually going to demolish this place 100 years ago and build a housing estate. I mean, come on.
Pearl.
Pearl, that's the name of my car. Look at that. Can you imagine demolishing that and making houses?
No.
Who could they even consider it? It's money, innit? It's like now, luckily now these places are preserved because we've got the grade 1 and grade 2 listing laws in effect now, so they can't touch them. But can you imagine? You wouldn't have been able to see these halls because they would have demolished them. It's just, it's criminal, innit? It is. I'm glad they brought them laws in. There's some old-fashioned filming stuff here for anybody who's interested. I know we're going to get some boffins who might be interested in all this stuff. It's like that stuff we saw at Smithsonian, isn't it? Old film things and old cameras and...
Right. If you were doing paranormal investigating...
We'll be using this stuff,
And
more than likely.
You'd have been doing it on that.
Yeah.
On that. Which...
You'd be carrying cables about though and all that.
Well, you won't be able to bring anything else because you imagine trying to carry that through an abandoned building, wouldn't
You'd be
it?
mad, wouldn't it? But you got to get some good black and white footage of it though.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you get ghosts.
The thing is, it'd be great if somebody was in there and they started getting aggressive, you could give them a crack with that and knock them out.
Look at this, a projector. 1950s projector. That's for like people like university would have used them, wouldn't they, for showing slides? Some people don't even know what slides are. That was a cinema projector. For the film, for cinema.
Yeah, because it was, yeah.
For black and white movies and well, probably even colour. It depends when they used it. Might not be that old, to be fair.
Oh, it dominated the market for years.
So we're still getting that message on Spirit Talker that keeps saying under the ground, buried under the ground. So this has got to be Richard Southworth trying to get Richard de Horton rather getting his story.
Was there any talk of her killing herself?
Yeah.
Right.
The story from
Well,
Horton Tower is that she killed herself.
Right. Well, I've got suicide, underground, and flames.
Really?
So.
Right. So what happened is when you come to this hall, the story they've put out is that they shipped her off to a convent in France and she died from a hunger strike. But the Catholics wouldn't want to admit to suicide, right? Because it was against the church law. So it possibly is that she committed suicide, and they've put that story out that they shipped her off to a convent in France to become a nun. Yeah. That's the story this hall put out. Now you go to Horton Towers, and the story that the Hortons put out is that Dorothy chucked herself from a window, that Richard de Horton galloped down with his two friends, found out, challenged the brothers to a duel, got killed, and was buried somewhere between here and Horton Towers, which is what you're getting on there, buried underground.
That would figure, right? That would figure with her being seen quite a lot. Obviously, if she's committed suicide, she would be in torment, which we've had at one point. We had in torment. She would be in torment because as a Catholic, she's going again by killing herself. She's gone against Catholic beliefs, hasn't she?
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So that would be considered. So she would be in torment. Connection. Is that a connection you've got between?
Because we're getting the story.
Are we getting the story right? If we're getting the story,
let's walk round to the Ghost Ladies Walk and see. Because you know where it says they took some stained glass windows from Whalley Abbey. I'm wondering if these are the windows. Because these windows are very, very old. And I'm wondering, and you know that top window there, it says Edward III, but it's on the inside, so it's back to front. Edward III, so that's going back some, isn't it? So I'm thinking that these are the stained glass windows, and William III on the, no, they're on the other side. I'm thinking these are the stained glass windows that were taken maybe from, and up there, Henry VII.
Yeah, because all the other windows are like this.
These could be the windows from Whalley Abbey. So you could possibly even get here a ghost from Whalley Abbey because those stained glass windows have come from Whalley Abbey. And this is sometimes like if you go to Horton Towers, they have a ghost of a monk only because of the door that was taken from Whalley Abbey.
And to be honest with you, Whalley Abbey isn't the same as like Horton Towers.
They're all in the same area.
Isn't that?
You've got Whalley Abbey,
isn't that fair?
Salmesbury and Horton Towers in like a triangle. They're all kind of together, aren't they?
Yeah. They're not about much difference in.
Before we go, I want to come back and have a look at them stained glass windows from the inside. They're just behind the piano bit.
Come back in.
Yeah,
and
we'll
it's
come
that
back
room
in.
they've got the picture of Henry VIII. Now, there's contrasting signs in here. In one room it says that picture over the door of the lady is Catherine of Aragon.
Yeah, it
and
is.
then another room it says it's Catherine Parr.
No, it's Catherine of Aragon.
No, so
because it's been engraved in during the time that they were married.
Yeah, but the one
Catherine of Aragon was Catholic.
The one upstairs says it's Henry Tudor and Catherine of Aragon.
Yeah, it is.
And then there's another one that says it's Henry Tudor and his wife at the time, Catherine Parr.
If you go to that door, we'll go back in. It says in engraving Catherine of Aragon. Yeah. So it's Catherine of Aragon. Right. And because this is a Catholic household, she was his Catholic wife. Now the last queen, Catherine Parr, she was about to start up her own different religion. I can't remember which one now. One of the newer ones like Baptist Church or something like that. Yeah, and he didn't know about that, Henry. No. And he died. But there is some talk that if he'd have lived, would she have been also beheaded because she was setting up a Baptist church separately? We're never going to, well, it didn't happen because he passed away, but she was the final wife, Catherine Parr. Let's go round to the Ghost Walk. There's a little bit of traffic here, but when we get round the other side. Right. Alright, so the Ghost... What are you getting?
We had flames, connection, don't mess with him, burned. And then we've got Jasmine.
Oh, think about it.
Well, this could be to do with the witches.
No, when we were upstairs, weren't there John, who was burnt at the stake,
Yeah, there was.
Perhaps that's him. Did John come up?
Yes, that was the
Upstairs.
John Southworth, who's now buried in Westminster Abbey.
Is he?
He was made a saint. As a
Well,
martyr.
he was
Yes.
martyred, burnt. So that's burnt at the stake. That's what they did
Yes.
to martyrs.
Yes.
So if that's
Yeah.
flames, that's him.
Yeah.
All
It was.
right.
Yeah.
Let's go round to Dorothy's White Lady Walk first. Now, unfortunately, we're close to the road, but they have seen a lot of ghosts of this sighting of Dorothy on that road. So it's important that we come round this back end. Now, that's the exit, cross the road up to Horton Towers that the White Lady has been seen, and she comes down this path. Now, this is White Lady Walk. This is known as White Lady Walk. There's supposedly a door up here somewhere where the maid used to let her out so she could sneak out and see Richard de Horton. Now whether that door's bricked up or whether it's around the corner, I'm not 100% sure, but oh my god, Andy, Jesus. Bloody hell, I just looked at that then. Oh my god.
Can you imagine coming past at night? That would.
You know when you just glance by the corner of your eye and you see something and freak out? But no, my first instinct was there's a man there had a heart attack. I was going to smash through the window and go in and rescue him.
Oh my god.
What's going on in this room? Look at that Father Christmas over there. What's he doing? He's drunk.
I have no idea what he's
He's
doing.
absolutely leathered. Well, he looks like an elf. It's not even Father Christmas.
I don't know what he's.
Scared the living crap out of me, that did.
Bent over the table.
Bloody hell. It'd teach me to peer through windows, won't it? It happened before, didn't it, up at Rufford Old Hall, where there was that white sheeted thing in the window and I stuck my head through and I screamed and come back out.
Yeah, but it was dark.
Now, I don't know whether this door is here or whether the door is back there. Is this White Lady Walk? Is this it?
It's one of
It's either that gate
It's one of these.
or that gate, innit? Well, anyway, what's happened is...
If she sneaks out of the kitchen exit would have been probably just here.
Right, so I know that they let her out.
It's possible, yeah.
This could be the White Lady Walk then. If it's not this one, it's the other door. But this one goes straight down to the road, done it, and across. So I'm thinking maybe that's the White Lady Walk. So the ghost sightings in this area, lots of people driving along that road there, especially at night time, have stopped the car and gone back because they've seen a lady in a white dress with long hair and they've thought, oh my god, is she alright? And they've gone back and she's not there. And I'm talking like taxi drivers, people that are just passing through. It's so many times that people have seen this white lady on the road and they've stopped.
Yeah.
So she's obviously heading across to Horton Towers where Richard de Horton lived, the man that she loved. So, yeah, but I think, right, think about it now, because the Catholics, they would not want to say that their daughter had committed suicide because it was against the Catholic religion. It's dead, no, you cannot do that. So they would have put the story out. She's been taken to France and put in a convent there because that sounds better. She's going to spend the rest of her life as a nun. Maybe, they added on the bit that she hunger strike because they had to explain somehow why she wasn't here anymore. A lot of these ghost stories, you have to piece it together yourself because you get a certain amount of information that they know and the rest of it is just a bit vague. And this is why we use Spirit Talker and stuff, because we like to try and get off the spirits themselves, the actual true events of what took place. Alright, so we're just going to go back in just to check those stained glass windows that supposedly, I think, came from Whalley Abbey. So we'll give you another show round before we finish. Have you still got your Spirit Talker on, Andy?
Yes.
Has anything come through?
Regina.
No, that means something to do with like queens and kings. The royalty, that. So perhaps, depends who was on the throne at that time, doesn't it? But that's to do with like, well actually look, we've got the Catherine of Aragon up here. There's Catherine of Aragon. That you can tell by the dress and everything, and the headdress and everything. It's her. So let's just go around to those stained glass windows and have another look, just to see from this side. Alright, so it says Henry V, Duke of Lancaster, and it says William III, and there's Anne. Don't be Anne Boleyn. Anne? Would that be Anne Boleyn? But they won't put Anne Boleyn in a Catholic house.
Was there a Queen Anne?
Well, only Anne Boleyn, as far as I know. But if these windows came from Whalley Abbey, was Whalley Abbey, but it was destroyed by Henry VIII, so it must have been Christian Catholic.
And you'll know this, right?
Yeah.
Blackbeard's ship was called Queen Anne's Revenge, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So, was it
That was Queen Anne Boleyn.
Anne? It's Victoria. Mary Tudor.
George III,
Where is she?
Victoria, and Mary Tudor was Catholic. James I, Mary Tudor, Henry VII, Henry IV, Edward III,
James.
Anne.
James
Who's
the
Anne?
First. Anne. If anybody can let us know.
This is where we need to shout out again to Kez
Was there a Queen Anne?
and Andy in Salford. Guys, you know how you like to do a little bit of background investigations for us. Find out if there was a Queen Anne other than Anne Boleyn. Because the thing is, Anne Boleyn was Church of England, so there's no way they would put her on a Catholic household. Was there another Queen Anne that we have missed?
Yeah, because James the First was Mary Tudor.
Oh, Victoria's Queen Victoria, obviously.
It was an old...
James I was the one who put the Pendle witches to death, who got who was bombed in the gunpowder plot where they tried to blow him up. Mary Tudor was Catherine of Aragon's daughter.
Saying that, they've got Victoria then, haven't they?
Queen Victoria, yeah. Maybe that window. And maybe these windows are from somewhere else and they've just put them
maybe
into...
just that piece was added on. I don't know.
But it said some of the stained glass came from Whalley Abbey, and that's
Yeah,
what I'm
did.
trying to figure out. Is this the stained glass that come from Whalley Abbey? Because it's the only glass that's stained. And in which case, that isn't from Whalley Abbey, because Queen Victoria was 1850s. That is a puzzle for us to figure out. Okay guys, and that's us from Salmesbury Hall, so we hope you enjoyed that tour, and we'll see if we picked anything up in the background on the camera. And the Spirit Talker messages were very good, because we had Buried Outside, Find My Grave, and they all relate to what happened to Richard de Horton. And the suicide thing with Dorothy, well, I do think that is personally true, and that the story put out was by the family, a different one to make it sound better.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I do think that's more than likely the story, but there's a lot of different conflicting ones, but I think that's, my opinion is that's more likely the story. She did end her own life, and yeah, obviously being Catholics, they wouldn't want that put it out, so they put another story together. So yeah, I do think that's the story, and that's why she's wandering around.
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously she's tormented because of she's ended her life, and the way she ended her life and why.
Well, it wasn't allowed by the Catholic religion to do suicide, really. It was illegal.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks for liking, and please subscribe and encourage others to subscribe, and please click the like button and leave a comment if you wish to say anything, and take care, and Merry Christmas to you all, and Happy New Year, and we'll see you all on the next one.